Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam to all of you. So we are really very fortunate to have His Grace Sannivas Prabhu with us today to speak about Srimad Bhagavatam. So we are starting a new chapter today, chapter 12 of Canto 1, Birth of Emperor Parikshit. So just to give you brief about Sannivas Prabhu. Sannivas Prabhu from Poduttur in south part of India, settled in Palmerston, North New Zealand, along with his family, and practicing Krishna consciousness for several years in New Zealand, and currently is in Bangalore to give us his association today. So really welcome Prabhuji. So we can hear from Prabhuji today. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Thank you for
Hare
giving
Krishna
me
Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam. Welcome Prabhuji. Welcome.
Hare Krishna.
The
Please start the prayer.
sloka displayed here, so we can with the Mangalacharan you can start.
Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chashurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Gurum Yet Krupatamaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinatarinam Nama Om Vishnu Paraya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Pashyata Desha Tarini Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Bhakta Kunda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna to all. So you display the sloka Guruji or how it goes?
It's displayed already. So maybe either you can read or any one of them can read also. It's okay.
Someone else
Anybody,
read,
Sridev Mataji, anybody is allocated sloka to read?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I am allotted the first.
Okay, go ahead, read. Yeah.
Text
one.
Text 1, Canto 1, Chapter 12, Text 1. Aswatamna upasrushtena prema Sirshana Urudejasa Uttaraya Hatha Karba Ichena Ajivita Puna. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada Jai. Translation. The sage Saunaka said, the womb of Uttara, mother of Maharaja Parikshit, was spoiled by the dreadful and invincible Brahmastra weapon released by Aswathama. But Maharaja Parikshit was saved by the Supreme Lord. Purport. The sages assembled in the forest Naimisharanya inquired from Suta Goswami about the birth of Maharaja Parikshit. But in the course of the narration, other topics like the release of the Brahmastra by the son of Drona his punishment by Arjuna, Queen Kunti Devi Queen Kunti Devi's prayers, the Pandavas' visit to the place where Bhishma Deva was lying, his prayers, and thereafter the Lord's departure for Dwaraka were discussed. His arrival at Dwaraka and residing with the 16,000 queens, etc., were narrated. The sages were absorbed in hearing such descriptions, but now they wanted to turn to the original topic, and thus the inquiry was made by Saunaka Rishi. So the subject of release of the Brahmastra weapon by Aswathama is renewed. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
We will discuss after the second sloka, Prabhuji, or we will?
When whatever it is, normally we'll go one by one. So whatever you comfortable. You want to read the
Hare
next one
Krishna.
also?
Yes, Prabhuji, it's a continuation.
Okay. Yeah. Second sloka, somebody can read.
Shall I read?
Yeah, go ahead.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Text 2. Tasya Janma Mahabuddhe Karmani Cha Mahatmanaha Nidanam Cha Yataivasit Tapretya Gatavanyata. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada
Mataji, I think
Jai.
your internet is
How
weak.
was the great emperor born in that?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
A translation. How was the great emperor Parikshit, who was a highly intelligent devotee, born in that womb? How did the death take place, and what did he receive after his death? Purport. The king of Hastinapura, now Delhi, used to be the emperor of the world, at least till the time of son of Emperor Parikshit. Maharaja Parikshit was saved by the Lord in the womb of his mother, so he could certainly be saved from an untimely death due to the ill will of the son of a Brahmana. Because the age of Kali began to act just after the assumption of power by Maharaja Parikshit, the first sign of misgiving was exhibited in the cursing of such a greatly intelligent and devoted king as Maharaja Parikshit. The king is the protector of the helpless citizens, and their welfare, peace, and prosperity depend on him. Unfortunately, by the instigation of the fallen age of Kali, an unfortunate Brahmana son was employed to condemn the innocent Maharaja Parikshit, and so the king had to prepare himself for death within 7 days. Maharaja Parikshit is especially famous as one who is protected by Vishnu, and when he was unduly cursed by a Brahmana son, he could have invoked the mercy of the Lord to save him, but he did not want to because he was a pure devotee. A pure devotee never asked the Lord for any undue favor. Maharaja Parikshit knew that the curse of the Brahmana son upon him was unjustified, as everyone else knew, but he did not want to counteract it because he knew also that the age of Kali had begun and that the first symptom of the age, namely degradation of the highly talented Brahmana community, had also begun. He did not want to interfere with the current of the time, but he prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and very properly. Being fortunate, he got at least 7 days to prepare himself to meet death, and so he properly utilized the time in the association of Sukadev Goswami, the great saint and devotee of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. So, in this chapter starts with a very humble question. As we observe, can everyone hear me?
Yes, bro. Yes.
As we observe, the when we sit for talking about the pastimes of Krishna, so Krishna Leela is Ananta, is like a Sagara. So the speaker sometimes is so much absorbed in the pastime of the Lord. Sometimes he drift away where the actual questions what been asked by the listeners. So this generally it happens. But here we had to understand like Saunak Rishi is asking very humbly, like we actually came here to hear about, because this question is already asked at the starting of Srimad Bhagavatam, and asked that how is the Parshit Maharaj, our Parshit Maharaj, and how he appeared, and what happened after this, and who is taking care of the day after uh, starting of the Kali Yuga, what is the pastimes in this regard. So Saunak Rishi want to bring Suta Goswami back into the discussion. So in this way, he humbly is making the request, can you come back and please explain us in these details? So in the first question, we can understand how we have to keep us always intact with understanding the depth of the Shastra. Even when we drift away, we have to come back to the same discussion point. And even though we drift away, it's nothing lost for us. Oh, we came to here to listen this one, something else is coming discussed here. So because Krishna is at the end of the day, Krishna is the one who speaking out in Krishna Katha. He is the master. So when a speaker sits and try to speak about Krishna Katha, the mood of the speaker has to be like, I am not the speaker, I'm just an instrument who have been used for giving the pastimes of the Lord. So in this way, when so even
1 second. Yeah, go ahead, bro.
even we are drifted away a little bit away from the topic, but still we get the so much as we see that even the topic has been drifted, we had the pastimes of what? Bhishmadev. Yes, and also how Dharmaraj felt about the appearance of Kali. And after that, we can also see that what is the mood of separation of Pandavas, how they felt when Krishna was leaving. And also the mood of Dwarka people, how did they receive Krishna when he is entering into Dwarka. Yes. So in this way, even we drift away, still is glorifying the Krishna's pastimes. But as the eager of the listeners is to know about the topic, so they Sudha Goswami humbly made this request. Can you please explain this topic to us? We are really interested on this one. So and why this is and in the second question, he elaborates this question of asking about Parshit Maharaj. And then we see a very significant change in the time of the age of transition from Dwapara to Kali Yuga. And in this one, we have to understand very clearly, Parshit Maharaj was supposed to die in the womb of Mother Uttara, but he's been saved. And so he knows that he been always been has this curiosity in his heart. He's been saved, and he's always eager to have the darshan of the Lord. And when he heard the news that he's again the death is going to come in 7 days to him, he didn't panic about it. So from this pastime, we also have to clearly understand that. So every time, like we always have to think in one nice attitude that Actually, I should have finished my life in last life itself. I should not taken birth, this birth, what is happening. So as I taken this birth again, means I didn't fulfill my journey in last life. So when we think that I didn't finish my journey in last life, so it's very important for me to remain on the same path. And somehow I had developed some attachments. Somehow my karmic reactions are still there. Somehow I didn't have this full desire to go back to Godhead. So when we understand that there is a purpose to this human body, is to go back to Krishna and remember Krishna as the end. So when we have that complete understanding of uh, of the realization that there is a meaning for this human life, then as we already tick the highest box is the fear of death. The fear of death is the topmost fear which a person can have. So if we already given the death to the head of the death, who is the Lord, so then we already prepared in our life how to leave this body in whose thought. So in this way, it's also been clearly explained that. So in the second purport, how Parishad Maharaj has taken the message of his own death. Yeah, and in this way, the chapter continues more deeper. Yes, Prabhuji.
Should we
Anyone
move on
has
to the next?
anyone has any questions here, Prabhuji, or we don't go?
Yeah.
Or anyone
If
want to share
anyone-
anything?
Yeah, Hare Krishna. If anyone you want to ask anything, please unmute yourself. Otherwise, we can move on to the next sloka. Okay, so move on to the next third sloka is allocated. Anyone?
Krishna Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah.
Tat idam shrotum ichamo gaditum yadi manyase bruhina shraddha ananam yashya jnanam ada sukha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. We all respectfully want to hear about him, Maharada Parikshit, to whom Shukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge. Please speak on this matter. Purport. Sukadeva Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge to Maharada Parikshit during the remaining 7 days of his life, and Maharada Parikshit heard him properly. Just like an ardent student, the effect of such a bona fide hearing and chanting of Srimad Bhagavatam was equally shared by both the hearer and the chanter. Both of them were benefited. Out of the 9 different transcendental means of devotional service to the Lord prescribed in the Bhagavatam, either all of them or some of them or even one of them are equally beneficial if properly discharged. Maharaja Parikshit and Sukadeva Goswami were serious performers of the first 2 important items, namely the process of chanting and the process of hearing. Therefore, both of them were successful in their laudable attempt. Transcendental realization is attained by such serious hearing and chanting and not otherwise. There is a type of spiritual master and disciple much advertised in the age of Kali. It is said that the master injects spiritual force into the disciple by an electrical current generated by the master, and the disciple begins to feel the shock. He becomes unconscious, and master weeps for his exhausting his store of so-called spiritual assets. Such bogus advertisement is going on in this age. and the poor common man is becoming the victim of such advertisement. He do not find such folk tales in the dealings of Sukadeva Goswami and his great disciple Maharaja Parikshit. The sage recited Srimad Bhagavatam in devotion, and the great king heard him properly. The king did not feel any shock of electrical current from the master, nor did he become unconscious while receiving knowledge from the master. One should not, therefore, become a victim of these unauthorized advertisements made by some bogus representative of Vedic knowledge. The sages of Naimisharanya were very respectful in hearing about Maharaja Parikshit because of his receiving knowledge from Sukadeva Goswami by means of ardent hearing. Ardent hearing from the bona fide master is the only way to receive transcendental knowledge, and there is no need for medical performances or occult mysticism for miraculous effects. The process is simple, but only the sincere party can achieve the desired result. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. It's a nice purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, the spirituality, if it's not understood in the right direction, so we will be misdirected on the name of spirituality, will be covered by the Maya. So spirituality is not something which is attainable by some sort of emotional experience, or it is achieved by just receiving some energy or some receiving and also it's also very clearly says that, okay, if I pass my energy to you, my energy is going to decrease and all my energy is being taken by you. So this is, we are connecting to the spirituality is like a bhakti starts at the feet of Bhagavan. So we have to understand very clearly who is the Bhagavan. Bhagavan is very full, it's appullented in, he has 6 appulences very full. And he's also a huge sagara, like it's a Sarva Rasamrita Sindhu. So if you take it, whatever you take from him is not going to become empty there. So how this transformation of this spiritual bhakti happens is only by the bona fide spiritual master. If in our heart there is no surrender to the Guru, and if we can't receive the knowledge through proper source, we can't transmit that knowledge to others. So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says very clearly, in this age of Kali, everyone can become spiritual master. But how? But when he receives the knowledge in the right direction through parampara. So for that, the qualification of the listener is to have attentive listening, and in the to receive the sastras as it is. And whenever he presenting the sastra also, is only presenting is as what it was heard by him through the parampara. So that's why here Sukadeva Goswami is very, he heard this knowledge from Vedvyas Mahamuni. Vedvyas Mahamuni heard this knowledge from the Narad Mahamuni. Narad Mahamuni heard this knowledge from Brahmaji. Brahmaji received this knowledge from Krishna. Yes. So everyone, if you see the parampara, everyone is attentively listening. And someone is attentively speaking as well. Yes. In this way, the spiritual knowledge is always transmitted from Guru to Sishya. But only on one basis is what is required is attentive hearing. So when our attentive hearing is being given, the Krishna says that, see, we are not in a path of realizing the God by our own spiritual experience, our own experiences, or we are not there to experience the Lord in our own way on our own strength. So that's why in spiritual realization, in sadhana bhakti or bhakti yoga, starts with the point of Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smarana, Pada Sevana, Archana, Vandana, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedana. So and for every of this every topic, there has been assigned a particular like a personality who is been completely absorbed in that topic. Like in that one, Shravanam comes for, who can say Shravanam is been given to whom?
Anyone want to unmute and answer? Who is perfected Shravana?
Parikshit Maharaj.
Shravanam.
Parikshit Maharaj.
Is it Arjuna Prabhuji?
No, actually, that particular service has been perfected. If you say this person went back to Krishna by just doing this one service. The one person, one devotee, he always listened and perfected his life and went back to Krishna. And one person who just telling about Krishna, he perfected and he went back to Krishna. So is in that line of perfection. So some devotees have been assigned the particular perfections. In Shravanam was given by Parshit Maharaj. He has only 7 days. But 7 days, he attentively heard about the Lord. And then who was speaking very attentively? The 7 days.
Shukadeva Goswami.
Shukdev Goswami.
Sukadeva Goswami.
We can say that Sri Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Sakyam, Atma Nivedanam. Actually, this all have to be there, but the perfection can be done in one. So the process of devotional service is so much nice and so much given to everyone to come and participate. So it's not like you only have to do. And Ambrish Maharaj Prabhuji, Ambrish Maharaj has done perfection in all of them. So he's an example for everything. So in this way, devotional service can be performed in at Shravanam, so attentively. So we can say that Prabhuji, I don't have time in my life. I'm very busy. So in starting our age of sadhana bhakti, so then we can ask that Prabhuji, just when you're working, just keep some pravachan going on, keep on listening to it. And whatever the points you are hearing, just write it down. And then slowly it's then you'll develop the other part of the limbs of the bhakti. So bhakti can be done in by everyone at any stage. And the beauty of this one is, if you chant for one round, then that gives the eligibility for you to do the second round. If you open the Bhagavad Gita and start reading first one page, and that gives the eligibility for you to read the second page. And if you one time come to temple and have prasadam, and it will use the eligibility for you to the come and have prasadam next day. So we get more mercy and more mercy and more mercy as we start doing our little steps into bhakti. But the main important point is here is given is the bhakti is only comes from the heart of the devotee who has bhakti. So if if we go and give our ears to someone who doesn't know about Krishna or who doesn't have bhakti in his heart, we don't get that bhakti. So bhakti, there is no other way. You can't say that, Prabhuji, I did fasting for 3 months. Do I get bhakti? No, we get only purification. And if you go to do yoga, pranaya and everything, again we get purification. But the starting of the bija of bhakti only comes to us by attentively hearing from the heart of the devotee who has already developed this bhakti in the chain of disciple succession. Thank you, Prabhuji. This is the main purport of this Srila Prabhupada saying that there is no other way to develop bhakti, and nowadays we are being falsified by so many different. So you come and hug me, you become devotee, and you come and lick my toe, you become devotee, and I come and put my hand on your head, you become devotee, and you become spiritual. No, that is not that cheap thing to catch Krishna. Krishna asks Sarvadharman Parityajya Mamekam Sharanam Raja Aham Tvam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshayami Masucha. Krishna says that what we have to surrender to you. Then only he is going to give the thing. So he is going to be testing your surrender. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes and teaches us how to do that surrender, and our parampara teaches us how to do the surrender in very as per the Guru Shastra and Sadhu. Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Very good, Prabhuji. Yeah. So, devotees want to share any of, first of all, any questions, comments, please ask anyone. If not, what is the lessons learned or realization each one can share? Maybe start with Sumit Prabhu. Sumit, very good.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Good.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class. So, yeah, we can learn from the life of Parikshit Maharaj that like how to approach, like how we can like for the limited time also, like how he choose the right reference for the time he had remaining for the last 7 days, and he chose to listen about the Lord, to do the Shravanam from Shukadev Goswami, and he didn't panic, but he like very easily he given up all these attachments. He didn't have attachments, but like he given up his kingdom and everything, and he make himself ready for the Shravanam, and for his death also he get ready. So he was not worrying about his death. He was not panicking, but he was more interested in listening more and more about the Lord. And like in the Bhagavatam, we saw like how he inquired certain places where the Goswami said something, and he wanted to know more about that things. So he was totally engrossed into listening about Krishna, getting more and more uh, things like knowing about the pastimes in detail, and that is what his mood was. So that is the mood for Shravanam we should have. That's all.
Hare Krishna. Sridev Mataji, anything you want to say?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Today's class, Saunik Maharshi asked Sukdev Goswami about Parikshit, how he was, because the dreadful Brahmastra released by Aswadama to the womb of Uttara, who is Parikshit's mother. But the Supreme Lord protected Uttara, and Maharaja Parikshit got saved. And Maharaja Parikshit, he could have asked the Lord to save him, but he did not want to because he was a pure devotee. A pure devotee never asks Lord for any undue favor, because Ashwadama, because a pure devotee, he does not ask the Lord for any undue favor. Maharaja Parikshit, he nicely, he well prepared himself to meet death very cheerfully and properly. So Sukdev Goswami imparted transcendental knowledge to Maharaja Parikshit during the remaining 7 days of his life, and Maharaja Parikshit heard him properly. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Mariappan Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Uh, Parikshit Maharaj, even though he's in a very short period, he is able to, without any fear and without any emotion, by the systematic method and the spirituality cannot be understood by emotion. So he completely surrendered to the Lord by on the lotus feet of Lord and received a spiritual knowledge from the parampara and bona fide spiritual master. So that is one important point I could understand. Receiving the spiritual knowledge from parampara and bona fide spiritual master, attentively hearing is very important, Shravanam, and perfection in devotion will enable me to progress, and bhakti can be acquired from the heart of pure devotee. These are the important factors I should always bear in mind to progress in bhakti. That much I understood, Prabhuji. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Thank you. Umar Shankar Prabhu, anything on that?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. The slokas are really very enchanting, and it is well explained by Prabhuji. This one actually shows the 9 devotional process, how it can be followed, how it should be followed, the Shravanam and Kirtanam, everything. And this actually is a direct explanation for those who challenge whether you can show the God. So if we actually follow the process, then we can actually feel the presence of God. And also it is not that like the bogus gurus that I have given the power and all the power has gone out of me. It's what Prabhuji has explained, like same thing. So these and all are bogus. We can identify between the bogus guru and the original spiritual bona fide spiritual master, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you. Prabhuji.
Lakshmi.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much. Listening through the Guru Parampara will benefit us to improve in Bhakti, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you. Archana Mataji, anything you want to add? No. Asha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, my takeaway for today. I should understand why I am here and what is my highest goal. That is go back home God to Godhead. Then I understood the importance of listening attentively and how it can help me to progress in bhakti. Bhakti can be developed by attentive listening. That's my takeaway, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the class, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Rekha Mataji, anything you want to say? Okay. Archana Mataji, yes, you unmuted. You want to say anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you for the class, Prabhuji. I understood the importance of listening. I mean, Shravanam, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Sure. Okay. So I think Sannivasa Prabhu, want to conclude anything? Any comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam for everyone. Yes, Prabhuji, we are so much fortunate, Prabhuji, how much we are fortunate by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. We are all been enlightened in the real process of devotional service and get the taste of what spirituality is really meant for. So thank you very much for us engaging every one of us in this reading, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for your valuable time. So request all devotees to please unmute. Let's chant once Hare Krishna mantra for Sannivas Prabhu's time. And thank you.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare,
Hare
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Rama, Hare Hare.
Dandavat
Thank
Pranam
you.
Prabhuji.
Thank you so much,
Thank you,
Prabhuji,
Prabhuji.
for your wonderful
Thank
class.
you, Prabhuji.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, for the
Thank you.
wonderful
Prabhu.
class.
And tomorrow evening, Prabhu is available 7 to 8, maybe Panihati Hall. The devotees, please make yourself free to come and take Prabhu's association. Hare Krishna. Message will be sent to the group. Please confirm. Hare Krishna. So we'll
Hare
Vancha
Hare
kalpasya
Thank you.
Divyacha Patitana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namano Ananta Koti Vaishnavanda Ki Jai. His Grace Srinivasa Prabhu Ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So we'll stop the meeting today. We'll miss you tomorrow and same 9 o'clock on Zoom call.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam Prabhuji.